If I felt I could get away introducing this spot with Rage Against the Machine's Killing in the Name of, I would have introduced this story to Killing in the Name of, but I'm pretty sure that YouTube and Facebook would be killing in the name of copyright laws this stream. So,
Yeah.
this story was brought to us by our team and was also brought to my attention to some followers. Dave Grossman is a former lieutenant colonel of the U.S. Army. He's created a company called Killology. And Killology has been around for almost 2 decades, teaching what experts call fear-based police training for law enforcement. I'm going to roll about a 2-minute clip from one of his trainings. It's gross.
If you fully prepared yourself, in most cases, killing is just not that big a deal. For a mature warrior who's prepared themselves mind, body, and spirit for a lifetime, for a mature warrior who's killing somebody represents a clear and present danger to others, it's just not that big a deal. There's no wrong way to respond to killing. There's many ways people respond, and they're all the same. They're all okay. But if you could choose how you responded, I think you'd want to feel good about it, yeah? The satisfaction of hitting the target under the stress of combat, to do what you're trained to do, to stop a deadly force threat, to save lives, to save your own life. Something called survival euphoria. It feels real good. Some people feel bad, they don't feel bad, yeah? Some people feel bad, they feel good about it, yeah? LAPD brought me out to do in-service day for the detective. LAPD detective in-service day is 600 people. One crusty old detective came up, she said, Colonel, you're the first one in 20 years to tell me it's okay to not feel bad about killing that guy, yeah? You know, a lot of people have been on the left end of the political spectrum, been driven crazy by the movie American Sniper, yeah? Y'all see the movie American Sniper? By the way, the whole sheepdog piece, remember they had at the dinner table, the sheep, the wolf, and the sheepdog? That wasn't in the book. They got that straight from me with my permission. They quoted whole sentences out of my stuff to put that in the front of the movie. It's pretty cool. But folks, a lot of people were deeply concerned that he didn't feel any remorse. He felt good about killing those guys. There's got to be something wrong with him. He should have felt remorse. He should have felt anguish. What do you think? Is something wrong with him? No, nothing wrong with him. I've seen it hundreds and hundreds of times. For those who fully prepare themselves, it's just not that big a deal.
Thousands upon thousands of police officers have gone through his training in the United States. His books are required reading at the FBI Academy. Jennifer, he talks about American Sniper, Kyle, and honestly, I'm blanking on his last name. Somebody educate me in the comments and we'll add that in there. He is the most successful sniper in U.S. history. The military credits him with over 150 kills. He had an $80,000 price on his head by Iraqi insurgents while he was over there. No, it's not Kyle Rittenhouse. We are talking about, I know Kyle Rittenhouse. We're talking about Chris Kyle. Thank you. Yes, he was part of Navy SEAL Team 3. And he had a very checkered story when he rotated back to the United States. He claims that he punched Jesse Ventura, basically that he kicked Jesse Ventura's ass. He lost that lawsuit, and then the lawsuit was tossed out because the courts learned that insurance settled for $1.35 million with Jesse Ventura. They then were going after $500,000 from Kyle's estate because Kyle was murdered. We'll get into that in a little bit. And there was an undisclosed settlement. Kyle also claimed that he went to New Orleans immediately after Katrina, and him and another person shot over 30 looters in a single incident in protecting the business. basically everybody goes, that's total bullshit, because if there were 30 shot people, as chaotic as things were in Katrina, people would be asking questions on why there are 30 shot dead people here right now. He also claimed he was robbed at gunpoint in Dallas in 2009 and shot both robbers dead. There's no evidence to support that incident ever happened. There is no police report, no news report, no missing persons report, no nothing. There's also questions about his service record, with the U.S. Navy saying that they got his DD-214 wrong, and that it was not his fault. Kyle was killed in 2013 at a gun range by another veteran suffering PTSD. But what I want to talk about is Dave Grossman talking about that movie American Sniper and this story about sheep, wolves, and sheepdogs, and how excited Dave Grossman was that this was used in the movie. Now, Kyle was murdered in 2013. That video clip is from 2015. It's 2 years afterwards, after Kyle's murder. So Dave Grossman espouses this view that there are sheep. Essentially, Jennifer, you, me, anybody watching this show are sheep. So, I mean, I own guns and I know how to fire them and stuff, but okay. There are wolves. Wolves are the bad people in the world. They just want to do violent stuff. And then there are sheepdogs. And the sheepdogs protect the sheep from the wolves. But one of the things that we know about Kyle and his struggle with PTSD, his struggle to come back to the real world after his combat experience, all of the death that he wrought tortured him. And he wasn't a sheepdog at the end of the day. If anything, he was fighting with everything left in his beam to become a wolf. And Dave Grossman glorifies this to police departments.
Yeah, this is gross. And if we're talking about wolves being the bad guys the sheepdogs need to protect the sheep from, he's training people how to be wolves. He's training them how to be shit. He's training them to be dangerous to people. In this next clip, I barely got through it the first time.
Well, it's not the next one. There's one in between, but I know the one you're talking about, because the third clip we have on this is mind-melting. Spokane County Sheriff Ozzie Kenzovich, I hope I got Sheriff Kenzovich's names right, was going to do a Killology seminar with the Spokane County Sheriffs, and there was community outrage when the word got out.
The agreement will also generate a commission report on stops, arrests, and use of force that's broken down by race, gender, and different areas in the county. With protests still taking place across the country, the two sides said this was something they've been working on since September.
We are here to fix the problem, and we were here long before George Floyd.
Recently, there's been opposition for a training set to take place in October. Just a few weeks ago, a demonstration took place in front of the courthouse. Activists called for Sheriff Knezovich to cancel a mindset boot camp that's been connected to the term Killology.
We are not able to, as the NAACP or any other organization, able to demand that the sheriff department not do something. What we can do is come to the table and say, listen, here are our concerns, this is what is being said, how can we address those things? And to my understanding, that is what we're doing at this point.
The training has currently been suspended, but a community town hall is expected before the training could be canceled. From Spokane, Brandon Jones, Crim 2 News.
I could not find any information, Jennifer, to show that training went forward in Spokane County. I believe that community outrage and also civilian leadership ended that training session for Killology for the sheriff department was going to happen there. At the same time that the sheriff is standing up at the podium surrounded by black leaders going, we're going to do an investigation and more training on how to police better.
Yeah, I mean, even Killology, who the hell thought that was a good name for anything, let alone to bring that in and train cops in Killology? That's just Yeah, there's, you said like at the beginning of the show, this was going to be like strange and weird, but it's like to the point of strange and weird where I'm having trouble like putting together complete sentences to even describe it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with this. And the thing is, in researching this story, I read a number of pieces that said for combat soldiers, for people in the military, that this idea that you're always on alert, and we're going to get into a clip. We got 2 more clips. We're going to play this other clip, which is just like,
yeah, gross.
And then we're going to get into another clip where a retired police officer eloquently states what I was about ready to state. The clip that we're going to play is the whole clip that started this. Whoa, what the hell's this Killology thing? I think we need to do a story on this tonight. And with that, I'm just going to roll this.
Well, I've been on the road for 18 years. People know me, they trust me. I get a depth of information. I ask questions other people won't ask. Cop says, knock down, drag out, fight, cuffed them and stuffed them. Finally get home at the end of the shift, and cop says, gunfight, bad guys down, I'm alive. Finally get home at the end of the incident, and they all say, the best sex I've had in months. Both partners are very invested in some very intense sex. But there's not a whole lot of perks that come with this job. You find one, relax, and enjoy it.
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
Jennifer, I'm going to let you unpack it. Because I know you're going to have something choice to say here.
You know what really turns me on, David?
Tell us, Jennifer. Tell us.
When the person that I'm sexually attracted to does not murder before we actually go in the bedroom. That's a big turn on to me. In fact, it's a requirement that I have. I don't know what kind of toxicity this man has been exposed to or internalized and now wants to share with other people, but he's a sick bastard, because that's really gross. That's all I got.
It's just stunning.
Just to like tell you how seriously disgusted I am by this, I would not go with him to his liberal freedom palace. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
If you haven't watched, it's a old. It goes back to the insurrection.
Yeah.
This leads us all back to Minneapolis and Derek Chauvin. If people here are wondering, why are we even talking about this tonight? The Minneapolis Police Department was getting this training on an annual basis up until 2018. And then the city moved to end the training in 2019. And guess what? The police union wasn't happy with that.
Oh,
We're going to roll the clip.
A warrior is one who is intensely invested.
Thousands of officers across the country have received the training you're seeing in this video.
We got to survive 24/7.
It's run by groups called Caliber Press and Killology, who say they help officers identify threats and balance their use of force.
People are bulletproof. They're bulletproof.
But the mayor of Minneapolis has a different take.
Fear-based, warrior-style trainings like Killology are in direct conflict with everything that our chief and I stand for in our police department.
MPD pulled staff from the training last year. Now the city's officers are banned from attending, even if they're off duty.
The Minneapolis Police Department will, we believe, be the very first major department in the nation to prohibit fear-based trainings.
He can't prohibit what we're going to do on our own time or off duty.
Lieutenant Bob Kroll, head of the police union, says he'll fight the new policy during this year's contract negotiations.
For them to blanket limit it, I think it's illegal. If not, it's a it's a labor issue.
Do you understand? You have the mission.
And he says the mayor is misrepresenting the training.
I think it would be beneficial for him to sit in on one of these trainings, and it's survival training.
Told to get his head out.
But it has come under scrutiny, including here in Minnesota. Officer Geronimo Yanez, who shot Philando Castile, had received similar training.
You end up just in this hyper-vigilant mode all the time.
Retired Minneapolis Police Sergeant Michael Quinn isn't a fan of the training.
If you fear for your life on every little startling moment on this job, you're in the wrong job.
So the officer that shot Castile Philando went through this training. Derek Chauvin was a police officer in the city of Minneapolis when this training was going on. And we know that Derek Chauvin, convicted murderer, killed without pity or mercy in the line of duty without even thinking or showing any remorse in the courtroom as his sentence was read. So one has to wonder, did Derek Chauvin go through Killology training? And how many officers have gone through Killology training? And Jennifer, I wonder how many of Puget Sound Police Departments have run their officers through Caliber or Killology's programs?
No, exactly. This is like cult-like shit. This is indoctrination in like fear-based policing. It's abhorrent. It's appalling. And the fact that Minnesota utilized this up to 2018, like, I have no words. Do we know if Killology is still being used around the country?
Oh, absolutely. Training's still going on. Dave Grossman is still raking in the dough.
Oh my God. Gross.
And the other thing is that we have this warrior training, and yet we have over 20 veterans that are committing suicide a day in this country. Notice, Jennifer, how the political right was all concerned about suicide and COVID lockdowns. And then the data came out that suicides actually dropped last year during COVID lockdowns. We still have 20 veterans a day killing themselves, but suddenly the political right doesn't care about suicide anymore, just like they didn't care about suicide 2 years ago.
If they can't use it as a weapon or monetize it in some form, they don't give a shit. You know.
Apparently not. And if we are teaching our soldiers this, where this is a more valuable survival tool, we have to be doing more to have them unlearn. And then the scary thing, of course, Jennifer, is where are police departments recruiting from? Out of the ranks of combat veterans. But that's okay. We're going to solve this problem of police abuse and police violence in this country by just introducing some more training.
Yeah, because that's done so well so far, right? That's been absolutely stellar. Mm-hmm.
Again, tonight we don't know if Derek Chauvin ever went through Killology, and we will probably never know. But I do think that it behooves citizens that are listening to this to understand if their police departments are supporting and going through this training. And just like the people in Spokane County said, no, I think people should be making sure that they're going, no, because as that retired police officer in the last clip played, if you are going around in your job every minute that you are out at a heightened state of readiness and everything is an absolute threat to you, you're in the wrong job, because where everything's a threat, you're just going to panic. And we've seen this over and over and over again.
And here's the thing. I have diagnosed PTSD. Do you know what one of my symptoms is? Heightened awareness, like everything is a threat. So it's really common symptom of a PTSD diagnosis.
Yeah, it is. Basically, this is training to teach you to become unempathetic and lose your humanity. And I think we've beaten on that one enough. Killology, learn about it, and let your city leaders know that you do not want these programs being taught in your police department.